Alright, we are now going to learn how to calculate a 2 by 2 determinant of a matrix. It's important to recognize that these straight lines, or as I like to call them touchdown symbols, means determinant. They do not mean matrix, they do not have the same properties as matrix. So if you see these lines, it tells you calculate the determinant. It does not tell you matrix, determinant. Alright, so first we'll start with a 2 by 2. To calculate the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, you're going to do something like this. You're going to take the top corner number and multiply it by the downward diagonal of the bottom corner number. The 6 and the 5, they multiply to be 30. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom left-hand corner number and multiply it by the upward diagonal of 3. So we have negative 8 times 3. Well, that is negative 24. Alright, so I'm going to take these two values that I just found, the downward diagonal, 30, and I'm going to subtract the upward diagonal, negative 24. So minus a negative becomes a plus. So I'm really having 30 plus 24 to get me 54. And that's it. The determinant is just a number that you will find. Alright, we are now going to calculate the determinant of a 3 by 3, determinant, because once again we have the touchdown symbols here. Now, if you looked at your notes ahead of time, there are two ways to actually do this, and I'm only going to do one of the ways on this instructional video. And one of the ways to do this is first rewriting the first two columns on the outside of your determinant. So it's my first two columns that I'm going to rewrite right on the outside. This is very similar to actually the way that I just did it with the 2 by 2. So I'm going to use downward diagonals and upward diagonals. So my first diagonal, 4 times 3 times 6. Alright. My next one is going to be 5 times 0 times 2. And my last downward will be negative 2 times 1 times negative 3. Alright, so 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 6, well, that's going to be 72. Alright, 5 times 0, okay, well, there's a 0, it's automatically going to be a 0. And lastly, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 times negative 3, well, that'll be a positive 6. Okay, so those are my downwards. Now I got to do my upward diagonals. So I'm going to start in the bottom corner. I'm going to go 2 times 3 times negative 2. I'm going to go from negative 3 to 0 to 4, 6 to 1 to 5. Alright, so 2 times 3 is 6. And 6 times negative 2, that'll give me a negative 12. Once again, there's going to be a 0 in this diagonal, so this will just give me a 0. And this last one, 6 times 1 is 6, times 5, that'll give me 30. Alright, so now I gotta take all these and add them together, but I'm going to do them separately. So 72 plus 6, my downward diagonals total to be 78. My upward diagonals, negative 12 plus 30. Alright, so that totals to being 18. Alright, so just like I did with my 2 by 2s, I'm going to take the downward diagonals of 78 and I'm going to subtract the upward diagonals. So 78 minus 18, that is going to give me a determinant of 60. And once again, you're just going to get a constant. Okay, that's determinant for a 3 by 3 determinant.